The Holocaust, a dark chapter in human history. The Holocaust, one of the most atrocious events of the 20th century, remains a profound and painful subject. It serves as a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the importance of remembering and understanding our past to prevent future atrocities. This video aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the Holocaust, its causes, events, and aftermath, as well as personal anecdotes to humanize the historical narrative. The roots of hatred. The roots of the Holocaust can be traced back to a complex interplay of historical, social, and political factors. Anti-Semitism, the prejudice against or hatred of Jews, had deep roots in Europe long before the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Centuries-old religious and economic stereotypes, combined with nationalist and racial ideologies, created an environment where Jews were often scapegoated for various societal problems. The defeat of Germany in World War I and the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles exacerbated economic hardship and national humiliation, creating fertile ground for extremist ideologies. The Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler, capitalized on these sentiments, promoting a virulent form of anti-Semitism and promising to restore Germany's former glory. The rise of the Nazi regime. Hitler's rise to power in 1933 marked the beginning of a systematic campaign against Jews and other perceived enemies of the state. The Nazi regime quickly moved to consolidate power and implement its racial policies. The Nuremberg Laws of 1935 were a key step in this process, stripping Jews of their citizenship and prohibiting marriage or sexual relations between Jews and non-Jews. The Nazis also targeted other groups, including Romani people, disabled individuals, political dissidents, homosexuals, and Jehovah's Witnesses. These groups were subjected to discriminatory laws, violence, and eventually, extermination. Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass. One of the early and most significant acts of violence against Jews was Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass, which occurred on November 9 to 10, 1938. Over 1,400 synagogues, prayer rooms, and other Jewish institutions were burned, 7,500 Jewish-owned businesses were destroyed, and approximately 30,000 Jewish men were arrested and sent to concentration camps. Anecdote: my great-grandfather, who lived in Berlin, witnessed the horrors of Kristallnacht firsthand. He described how the sky was lit up by the flames of burning synagogues and how the sound of shattering glass filled the air. It was a night that marked the end of any illusions about the Nazis' intentions and the beginning of a desperate struggle for survival. The ghettos and concentration camps. With the invasion of Poland in 1939 and the subsequent occupation of much of Europe, the Nazis intensified their efforts to isolate and annihilate Jews. Jews were forcibly relocated to ghettos, overcrowded and walled-off sections of cities where living conditions were dire. Disease, starvation, and violence were rampant, and many perished before they could be deported to concentration camps. The Nazis established a vast network of concentration camps and extermination camps across Europe. Camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Sobibor became synonymous with mass murder. Auschwitz, the largest of these camps, was a complex that included a concentration camp, an extermination camp, and a labor camp. It is estimated that around 1.1 million people, the vast majority of them Jews, were murdered at Auschwitz alone. Anecdote: a family friend, Mrs. Ruth K., survived Auschwitz. She often spoke of the inhumanity she witnessed and endured. Her tattooed arm was a permanent reminder of the suffering she experienced. She recalled how she clung to hope and faith, even in the face of unimaginable cruelty. Her stories were filled with sorrow but also with a resilient spirit that refused to be broken. The final solution. In 1942, the Nazi leadership formalized their plan for the extermination of the Jews, known as the final solution. This plan called for the systematic murder of all Jews within reach, using methods that included mass shootings, gas chambers, and forced labor. The Wannsee Conference, held on January 20, 1942, was a key moment in this process, where top Nazi officials discussed and coordinated the logistics of the genocide. The Holocaust's death toll is staggering. Approximately 6 million Jews, including 1 million children, were murdered. In addition to the Jewish victims, millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, political prisoners, and other persecuted groups, were killed. Liberation and aftermath. The Allied forces began liberating the concentration camps in 1944 to 1945, uncovering the full extent of the Nazis' atrocities. The liberation of camps like Auschwitz, Buchenwald, and Dachau revealed the horrifying conditions in which survivors had lived and the evidence of mass murder. Survivors faced immense challenges in the post-war period. Many had lost their entire families, homes, and communities. Displaced persons camps were established to provide temporary shelter, but the process of rebuilding lives was arduous. The Nuremberg trials held between 1945 and 1949 sought to bring Nazi war criminals to justice, although not all perpetrators were held accountable. Anecdote: my grandmother's cousin, who survived the Holocaust, was liberated from Bergen-Belsen in 1945. She weighed just 70 pounds and was on the brink of death. She later emigrated to the United States, where she rebuilt her life, married, and had children. Despite the trauma she endured, she always emphasized the importance of kindness, tolerance, and the need to remember the past. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to support this channel. Please share across social media platforms to reach a wider audience. The Holocaust's legacy. The Holocaust had a profound impact on the world and continues to shape our understanding of human rights, genocide, and the need for vigilance against hatred and intolerance. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 was, in part, a response to the Holocaust, providing a homeland for Jewish survivors and refugees. Holocaust education and remembrance efforts have been crucial in ensuring that the lessons of this dark period are not forgotten. Museums, memorials, and educational programs around the world work to preserve the memory of the victims and to educate future generations about the dangers of hatred and bigotry. Anecdote: visiting the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., was a deeply moving experience for me. Walking through the exhibits, seeing the piles of shoes, the photographs of victims, and the stories of survivors brought the history to life in a visceral way. It reinforced the importance of bearing witness and ensuring that such atrocities are never repeated. Personal reflections and the human dimension. While the statistics and historical facts of the Holocaust are essential to understanding its magnitude, personal stories and reflections provide a human dimension that makes the horror more relatable and real. The resilience and courage of survivors, the compassion of those who helped, and the moral failures of those who perpetrated or turned a blind eye to the atrocities offer valuable lessons for humanity. Anecdote: my own family's history is intertwined with the Holocaust. My great-uncle, who was a young boy during the war, was hidden by a courageous non-Jewish family in the Netherlands. Their selfless actions saved his life, and he often spoke of them with profound gratitude. This story of bravery and compassion amidst the horror has always inspired me to stand up against injustice and to help others in need. Lessons for today. The Holocaust's legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked hatred and intolerance. It underscores the importance of promoting human rights, tolerance, and respect for diversity. In today's world, where xenophobia, racism, and anti-Semitism still exist, the lessons of the Holocaust are more relevant than ever. Education and awareness are key to preventing future genocides. By learning about the Holocaust and other instances of mass violence, we can better understand the warning signs and work to create a world where such atrocities are not possible. Engaging in dialogue, challenging prejudices, and standing up against hate speech are all vital actions in this ongoing effort. The Holocaust remains one of the darkest chapters in human history, a testament to the depths of human cruelty and the resilience of the human spirit. By remembering and learning from this atrocity, we honor the memory of the millions who perished and reaffirm our commitment to building a more just and compassionate world. The personal stories of survivors and the efforts of those who risked their lives to save others remind us of the capacity for both evil and good within humanity. As we reflect on the Holocaust, let us resolve to stand against hatred in all its forms and to work tirelessly to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again. Personal note. Writing this clip been an emotional journey for me. The Holocaust is not just a historical event, it is a part of my family's history and a poignant reminder of the fragility of human dignity. The stories of courage, survival, and loss have deeply impacted me and strengthened my resolve to contribute to a world where such horrors are never repeated. The legacy of the Holocaust is a call to action for all of us, to remember, educate, and stand against hatred wherever it arises. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to our channel for more self-improvement videos. Comment below to tell us how useful you found this video. Remember to share on various social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Click the notification bell to get notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.